Hi, my name is Aaron George Abraham, and I will be talking about electric vehicles in this presentation. So first, let's look at what classifies a car as an electric vehicle. Now, as we all know, the cars that we see are conventional internal combustion vehicles, and these are powered by gasoline. They're cheap to buy, but the price of gasoline is rising. Electric vehicles are powered only by an electric motor. They're more expensive, but they have much lower energy costs. And hybrid vehicles use both a gas engine and an electric motor to power the wheels. These are less expensive than pure electric vehicles, but have a higher fuel cost compared to them. Now we look at why we need electric vehicles and why they're becoming more popular. The supply of gasoline is limited, and this is causing the price of gas to rise steadily. Pollution from burning fossil fuels is also a major problem and has caused global warming. Most renewable sources of energy can produce electricity, like solar cells and hydroelectric dams. Electric cars then would be in a good position to make use of them. There is also a good infrastructure for the distribution of electricity present to most homes. Electric cars can also give more energy independence from the few countries that have oil. Now we look at the parts of an electric car. The electric motor is the main component which provides propulsion to move the car, and the batteries store the energy that is used to move the car. The controller provides power to the motor based on throttle position, so that the required output speed is given to the user. We will look at different forms of energy storage devices, like the lead acid battery, the nickel metal hydride battery, the lithium ion battery, and hydrogen fuel cells. The lead acid battery is one of the oldest types of rechargeable batteries that are currently in use. These are used in conventional and hybrid cars for starting the engine and running accessories. Even in pure electric vehicles, they usually have a 12-volt lead acid battery to run accessories. They are cheap to buy but have a low energy density. Hi, my name is Aaron George Abraham, and I will be talking about electric vehicles in this presentation. And hybrid vehicles use both a gas engine and an electric motor to power the wheels. These are less expensive than pure electric vehicles, but have a higher fuel cost compared to them. Now we'll look at the nickel metal hydride battery. These have a higher energy density, but a higher cost as well. They're used in most hybrids, like the Prius. The anode is usually a metal hydroxide, and the cathode is a nickel oxyhydroxide. The electrolyte which is used is usually potassium hydroxide. The metal M is not an element, it's a rare earth intermetallic compound, and the battery works in a similar way to the lead acid battery. So in this case, charging the battery is a forward reaction, and we have both the positive electrode reaction and the negative electrode reaction here. Now we'll look at how lithium-ion batteries work. These have a much higher energy density and cost, but they are much more lightweight compared to the other batteries. They're used in most pure electric vehicles like Nissan Leaf and Chevrolet Bolt. The anode is usually lithium carbide, and the cathode or positive electrode is lithium cobalt dioxide. And the electrolyte used is usually a lithium salt. And as you can see, discharging the battery is again running these reactions at the bottom backwards. And as you can see, the right hand equation causes electrons to be created, and the left hand equation causes electrons to be absorbed, and see a flow of electrons from the negative to the positive electrode. And this electricity can be used to power the motor. Now we'll compare the different batteries that we have seen so far. The table below shows a comparison of them at similar energy levels. This shows that lead acid battery is the cheapest of all the three batteries, and lithium ion is the most expensive. But lithium ion has the highest energy density per weight and size, so it gives it a huge advantage in electric cars, where the larger weight of an equivalent lead acid battery would slow down performance and increase energy consumption. This is why lithium ion batteries are the most popular in electric vehicles. Hi, my name is Aaron George Abraham, and I will be talking about electric vehicles in this presentation. So the most promising type of hydrogen fuel cells is the polymer exchange membrane fuel cell. This is the most promising for cars. So as we can see here, hydrogen from the tank acts like an anode, and when it comes into contact with the catalyst, it splits into hydrogen ions and electrons. The proton exchange membrane only allows positive charges to move through it. Hence, the electrons are forced to move through the electrical circuit, where they can be used to power the motor or charge the battery. After they have passed through the electric circuit, they meet at the other end of the hydrogen fuel cell, and they then combine with the hydrogen ions again and the oxygen, which is coming from the air, to produce water, and this water is then released as the exhaust from the fuel cell. So as you can see, this creates electricity from hydrogen and oxygen and releases water, usually in the form of water vapor, because of the large heat that's released. So first, let's look at what classifies a car as an electric vehicle. Now we'll look at the controller. The controller provides the required voltage to the motor from the battery so that the required speed is achieved for the car. The controller in an AC motor also has to convert the DC voltage from the battery to the suitable AC voltage for the motor to run. Now we will look more closely at the different types of electric motors that are used in electric vehicles. Two main kinds are AC or DC motors. The most popular ones being used are the DC brushless motor, the AC induction motor, and the AC permanent magnet synchronous motor. So the first motor we'll be looking at is the DC brushless motor. These motors are very popular in hybrid vehicles because they don't have a lot of performance, but they're low cost. So how they work is they have a stator and a rotor. The stator contains the electromagnets and is stationary, and the rotor has permanent magnets and is what rotates and creates the output rotation that is required. When a switched DC input is applied to the windings in the stator, it creates a rotating magnetic field. The poles of the permanent magnet are attracted to the opposite poles of the electromagnet and follow that in rotational motion. Now we look at why we need electric vehicles and why they're becoming more popular. The supply of gasoline is limited, and this is causing the price of gas to rise steadily. Pollution from burning fossil fuels is also a major problem and has caused global warming. Most renewable sources of energy can produce electricity, like solar cells and hydroelectric dams. Electric cars then would be in a good position to make use of that. There is also a good infrastructure for the Hi, my name is Aaron George Abraham, and I will be talking about electric vehicles in this presentation. The rotor shown below has channels for the conductors to sit, and when the stator is creating a rotational magnetic field, an electromagnet is induced from the stator current. The torque created by the interaction of the magnetic fields from the stator and the rotor causes a torque to be created, and this causes the rotor to rotate, and the shaft here can send that rotation to the transmission or the wheels. The last motor we'll be looking at is the permanent magnet synchronous motor. It works similar to an induction motor, except that it uses permanent magnets instead of needing electromagnets induced on the rotor. This kind of motor has more torque, but it has less temperature resistance, and rare earth metals are needed, which the price of which has gone up pretty significantly. That's the presentation on different parts of an electric vehicle. Thank you and have a nice day.